Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and I want to welcome you to episode 63 of Limb Lengthening Live, where the patients get to interview the guests. And today we're joined by a stature lengthening patient who's been here on the channel before. JP is back on the show. Welcome back, JP.
Hey, glad to
How
be
you doing?
back.
Yeah, and you're seriously a fan favorite. In fact, I think it was last week or the week before. Somebody was like, "Where's JP? Get him back on. He's done lengthening. We need an update." So,
I just finished lengthening, so
did you? Did you? When
yeah.
did you finish?
Uh, November 4. November 4.
Okay. So just a couple
So
weeks now. That's incredible,
yeah,
man.
it's been a couple of weeks, and I mean, it took longer than expected because at the end, for the last 2 centimeters, we did 0.75 millimeter every day instead of doing 1 millimeter every day.
I see.
So it
Slow
took
down a little bit.
bit longer, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha, man. Well, how are you doing? Like overall, I mean, you're done your stature lengthening process. Isn't that incredible?
I'm glad it's done. I'm
I
glad
bet.
it's done. But the thing is, even if I'm done lengthening, I still can't walk properly, so it's not fully done yet. But I'm like, it took me a while to notice really a difference because I didn't go out much. I stayed home, and but as soon as I started like going out and walking like different places,
Mhm.
I could see a difference. I could
Yeah.
notice a difference in height. Like I could feel the difference.
That's incredible, man. Wow. So for everybody who's watching who may not have been caught up on your story, because you've been on the channel a few times now, let's just do like a limb lengthening surgery overview for you. So when was the date of your surgery, your original your surgery?
August 1st.
August 1st. Okay, so just over 3.5 months ago. And which bones did you have lengthened?
Femurs.
Femur's done. The device you used?
Precise 2.2.
2.2. What was your starting height?
174. So that's 5'9". A bit actually, it was 174.5
Okay.
centimeters. So that's
You're my height.
close to 5'9".
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. Very cool. And did you get the full 8 centimeters?
I did even a bit more.
What?
Yeah,
How did you do more? Like, what did the rod have some extra
because
space in there?
there is
Is there?
there's a safety. There's a safety in case in the end there's one leg like shorter than the other. You can adjust, and there was a bit more room at the end of the nail, so we were able to go and get 8.1 like on one leg, and the other leg was shorter, so we did a bit more to make them equal, but
Yeah.
all in all it's like 8.1.
Wow, man, that's incredible. So I'm gonna pull up some X-rays here just to kind of show. I think you sent over a lot of content, and we'll show this throughout the interview here. But what I want you to talk about now is now that you're done lengthening for a couple weeks now, has the lengthening pain kind of subsided? Because I know that there's different phases of pain. There's like the post-surgical pain, what you have right after the surgery, a lot of inflammation, swelling, and all that stuff. Then you have like a little bit of a downtime before the muscles start to get tight. You have the lengthening pain. Did any of that? Did you get any nerve irritation? Did any of the lengthening pain kind of subside a little bit?
Well, all of what you said, like the order of what you said is true, and I did have some nerve pain at one point where I felt like a bit of a burning sensation on my lower tibia, and like
Mhm.
and a bit on my like internal side of my femur,
Mhm.
but it didn't last. It was like a couple of days. Only when I was sitting in a car for long periods of times, I would
Mhm.
have this feeling, and eventually it just disappeared. It
Wow.
stopped doing it before the end of lengthening. It stopped and that was the reason we stopped. We slowed down. That was the reason we went at 0.75,
I see.
because I had this burn sensation. But as soon as we slowed down, everything started going better. Like I had more flexibility, more less tightness,
Mhm.
less pain, um, and that kept going like that up until the last part of the lengthening.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So as we can see here, guys, I'm sharing some of JP's X-rays that he sent in to me. So this is early on in lengthening, I guess, right?
Yeah, this is early, but it's I believe last time I went on I was on the show. I'm not sure I showed you this one, so that's why I put it on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think we've seen this. This is like slightly after you started lengthening, and we just finished talking to you then, which is incredible. So yeah, we have that there. I think we also have another one here where you have some more distraction length. I think you can see. Let me switch over here just a sec. Shoot, hold on. There we go. Nope, wrong one. Do you see anything else, or is it not showing up? No.
It's still showing the same one at the
So in the same.
moment.
Okay, I'll fix that in a second. But yeah, tell us a little bit about like you said the pain went away. You guys went at 0.75 in terms of your femur lengthening to kind of like resolve some of that pain. Would you say that right now everything is kind of like gone, the pain in your legs, or do you still feel sore and tender, or what are you feeling right now?
I just feel weak. I don't feel sore. I don't feel pain. I just feel
Okay.
like my legs are a bit weaker, because
Yeah.
when you stretch the muscle, the
Hmm.
fibers elongate, like they get stronger, they get longer
Hmm.
and weaker. When you contract, they're already like stretched. So when you do a muscle contraction, it's harder, and I can
Yeah.
feel it being weak,
Hmm.
and but at the same time, it's just because like for a while I haven't walked a lot, like I haven't done anything like with my legs. So as soon as I'm gonna start walking again, it's gonna be like that weakness. I'm not expecting to last very long.
Right. Yeah, that's incredible. Man, and that's the thing. It's you just stopped lengthening. I noticed that a lot of patients tell me that it takes about a month, maybe even 6 weeks, where the pain is completely gone, and they're just waiting for the bones to fully consolidate before they can start walking, full time. So that's incredible, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of flip through some stuff here, and if you want, you can kind of describe what's going on. But like, this is you just on the walker. I don't know if you know exactly when this was taken.
This was like quite early. There was like maybe like 1 month after surgery,
Okay. Okay. This is 1 month. So guys, he has the precise
or
2.2
3 weeks.
nails. Okay, 3 weeks. Yeah, so he's not full weight bearing. That's why he's using the walker here. But as you can see, he's ambulating pretty well here. I'm just going to move along to this one. Tell us what's going on here.
This is Corey, my physiotherapist, physical therapist. He comes every morning and he stretches me, and he does check every like the range of motion. He makes sure that my range of motion are still within the a normal,
Hmm.
range. And also he, finds ways to stretch my muscle without putting too much weight on the nail. So
Gotcha.
it's very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And is he with Dr. Godelovich? Like, is he work with them, or is it
Yeah,
like, okay,
he
gotcha.
specialize, like I could say, specialize in limb lengthening.
He specializes in limb lengthening. That's perfect. What's going on here, JP?
So this is me walking. I started walking my street every day. This is like I'd say like maybe like a month ago, and you can see
Wow.
my left leg, like it's painful.
Mm.
At that point in time, like I had pain in my left leg, but I still took
Mhm.
videos just to document every step.
Yeah, I'm
So
so
that's not
glad
the
you did.
prettiest walk, but every day like that, sometimes it's more painful than others, but it's getting better. See,
Yeah,
that day I think a bit better.
it's getting better this day. Yeah. Yeah, man. Look look at how tall he is. Like, compared to the first video that we saw, he looks like he's like a full almost 2 inches taller here. I'm guessing you are.
Yeah, this is I think is like 2.5 inches taller at that point, and the walker is also taller, so it's hard to see compared to the previous videos, because as I was growing, I was making the walker higher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you need it for your hands to have the
Yeah.
to offload the support. I mean, your body weight. Man, look at this. This guy is looking so tall, like compared to the first one. It's crazy to see this because we saw all this happen in such a short amount of time. August 1st, surgery
When
day.
when you
And
see
now it's
August
yeah,
1st back to back with this video, that's when it
yeah.
hits the most. Like
Oh, don't worry.
August.
I plan to sit down with this content and probably put together a video for the channel, a really dramatic video. So I plan to do that for sure. Oh man, this is great, man.
That's
So this is yeah,
yeah, a couple videos of me just walking, just
the
documenting
walker.
it.
This is fantastic. I mean, all this documentation is everything. It's so important because it does come in handy for content for people later. What are you doing
Oh yeah,
here?
this is gonna help, because I've been doing it quite a few times just to make my legs more like mobile, like to make them move more, because I put the machine. I set the machine at 0, so there's no tension on it. There's no force, so it's easy
Yeah.
for my legs. No chances of breaking the nail, and it works fine. The day after, I feel better, and my legs feel like there's more oil inside.
Yeah, nice and loose and limber. Yeah, I bet, man. That's incredible. That's good. This is Corey working on you
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Very cool. So he's working on some knee range of motion there.
Yep.
Wow, you can barely see. You guys see his scars; they're so minimal there. I mean, it's incredible. Um, that's so cool how you can see that these minimal incisions are causing, massive changes in height. It's crazy. Okay,
Me
working
working
out.
out. Like I was just sitting on the wheelchair.
Yeah, wheelchair workouts. That's what I did.
You can do it if you want, but
You can. Yeah, this
the
is what
only
I've been
the
telling a
only
lot of people.
the only thing is, if you do it and you get sore after, it's gonna be hard with the walker. That's why I didn't keep
Yeah,
doing it.
right. Yeah, I always did like lighter weight, higher reps for during lengthening, just to kind of like maintain muscle tone. It wasn't anything to build like massive gym size or anything. It was just to kind of stay fit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Some more
There's
physical
still
therapy
one
here.
thing. Yeah, more physical therapy. There's a lot. You do it every morning.
Yeah,
So might seem like a lot when you look at these videos, but every morning I had to do it for 80 days. So
it's incredible, man. That
yeah.
is incredible.
Oh
You
yeah,
will make a
fortune
change.
cookie.
I love it. You will make a change for the better. I love this. Your manifestation of like how you take these little quotes and you can apply it to your current situation. That's incredible, man. Awesome.
Still walking. We
Wow.
can maybe skip this one because
Okay.
it's still the same. Okay, this is shows higher gap. This is like when I was at about 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
4.
That's 39.1 and 39.7 millimeters. So the one of your legs was a little longer, but you fixed it towards the end, correct?
Exactly, and that you like when you measure with these type of X-rays, it's not super precise because they're magnified, and it's
Mm.
just using the cursor on the computer. If you want to be
Right.
sure, you have to take another type of X-ray, which Dr. G prescribed me at the end. It's like one where you're standing up.
Oh yeah, the full standing,
Yeah.
full length. Yeah, full length. Awesome. Let's see what else we got in here. Let me press next. I think that. Oh, I gotta zoom out here. There we go. All right. Oh, there you go. Now that's like where you're at 556. You're at 5 centimeters there.
Yep.
5.5.
Yep.
Incredible.
So we can see the progression of the bone, the
Regenerate.
bone tissue that's like being made like in the gap. We can see it.
Absolutely. It's looking like that nice cloud formation there.
This is like, just my morning routine when I was stretching.
Okay. Some knee range of motion.
Yeah, just to help it, and this just stretch my muscles every morning. Also, but I mean that I had my physiotherapist come in, but
Mhm.
after that, like I had to do also stretches like 3-4 times a day.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's why you're doing so well in terms of like, your pain control and everything, because you kept those muscles loose and limber. There you go. It's 6.5 centimeters. So that's already 2.5 inches. We're almost 3 inches. I mean, you're getting there. You're on the way. And then this is old x-ray.
This is old X-ray. Yeah, this is me walking towards the end. I believe we already saw it, but I'm not sure. I think so.
Okay. Yeah, this one
So this is me walking like about like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Video.
ago. Okay.
Yeah, about 2-3 weeks ago.
Wow, man, you're looking so tall. It's crazy. So you're technically over 6 foot. You're 6 foot right now.
Yeah.
Wow, guys,
On
this
the
guy's
dot.
and you're moving really good.
Some days better than others, as we can see. That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to keep a lot of videos like that. It might be repetitive a bit, but like at least we can see some days are better than others. And if you keep pushing, I guess it's gonna get better because every day I walk,
Mhm.
and one thing it has made better was like since I started walking, the pain definitely got like almost absent, like almost no pain.
Right. Now that's incredible. I mean, this is This is crazy, and I'm guessing right now. So your last checkup was when with Dr. G?
Mm,
Like
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
When was this X-ray taken here?
This one was the one we took 2 weeks before the last appointment, so a month ago.
Oh, a month ago. Okay, gotcha. So this isn't too fun. Okay, some more Walker here.
Yeah,
Did you go
it's
fishing
me
again?
fishing. Yes, you can. This is just to show people that even if you had major surgery, you can still enjoy your activities. You know.
Absolutely, man. Look at that. You can fish better than I can with perfectly good legs. That's incredible. Wow. Okay, so that's just showing you at 6.5 pretty much.
Yeah.
Some more
Still
Walker. Man, this
walking.
is fantastic.
Eventually, when I look at them like one next to the other one and I speed them up, I can see a progression.
You can see the progression, and that's what it's all about. It's like, yeah, and I think I'm gonna try to do something like that on video. I'm not the greatest at video editing, but I'll try. Man, that's super. Are you in the mall
Okay, this is today. Last one. I believe this is the last one because that's today, this morning.
this morning?
Yep.
Wow, this is the mall, right?
Yep. Because you know why? You know why I started going to the mall? Because in Canada up here we have snow now.
Oh,
So
you can't do it
first
outside.
snowfall was like 4 days ago. We had the first snowfall,
Yeah,
and with the walker outside walking in the snow and the ice, it's minus
yeah.
5 outside right now. So rather go inside.
That's crazy. So I'm kind of mad that there's no other people to kind of compare you to, but but this is incredible to see a guy, and look at how comfortable you are using a walker in the mall. I think a lot of people would be kind of pulled back and they wouldn't want to kind of do that. But what
This
is
is one
your
thing you have to like. You have to. I mean, put this on the side. The idea
yeah
of other people watching you and thinking you have like a sort of disease or that like you're so different. Like
Hmm.
first, people will look at you this way, but they'll want to help you with doors and stuff. Everyone is going to want to help you.
Yeah, they feel
That's
bad, and
one thing.
I think that's what a lot of patients said when they were at the airport. They said that everybody was so nice; they were just opening doors for me.
Yeah, the first time in my life, someone everyone's so nice.
Yeah, because they feel bad. That's crazy. But like, I mean, you look like a tall guy right now, just like walking through the mall from 5'9" to freaking 6 foot. This is incredible. And with the boots, you're probably closer to 6'1", I'm guessing. You know?
Actually, yeah, because I noticed when I put these on, it makes me taller than the shoes. But
Oh, it
you know,
definitely does. They definitely have a bigger heel. But this is so cool because in that short amount of time, we're talking less than 4 months. This guy went 3 inch. He got 3 inches taller. He's changed his whole perspective. You've probably built up this, psychological grit, which made you stronger and more resilient to daily life and everything like that. Do you agree?
yeah, I do agree. It
Yeah,
was hard at times because I'm used to it, being very busy, like studying, doing sports, doing this, that, and from one day to another, I got basically sent in a wheelchair because that's what I wanted. I knew it was part of it,
yeah,
but when you're living it, it's different than when you're thinking about it before.
absolutely.
When you're living it, you're in the moment and you notice like it's sometimes it can get long, like the time can
Yeah,
get long. Like even if you try and get busy,
yeah.
you can't
No,
really do
I
what,
hear you.
what you would normally do. So
Yeah, 100%. I think that's one of the biggest things in the whole stature lengthening game right here is like really trying to find a way to kind of like make that time useful, make it efficient. Don't just like let lengthening happen and life disappear. So, JP, I had a few questions for you. I wanted to kind of say, so you said that you do notice the height increase. Is that correct?
yes, but just before you start, you said that you take use of that time, the time it takes for lengthening, and that's I think that's very true. Like the way I I got through it is I told myself this is like for you, it's like vacation. Take
Yeah.
it as a vacation. It's a well needed vacation. Like before I'm gonna go back and get very busy again.
Hmm.
So it can't do any wrong
Yeah.
to have some time off, and relax. I wouldn't do that normally. If I didn't have
Hmm.
my legs broken, I wouldn't take a week off. Never,
Right.
never, never, never happened.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Um. So it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the same thing that I did too. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't just like sitting there and eating popcorn, watching Netflix all day. I was trying to do things and be creative with things, but it was like a very nice time, a step away from the world, which I know a lot of people are worried about that. They're worried about like, oh, it's 6 months of my life or, 7 or 8 months before I'm walking normally again and getting back into life. But I'm like, hey, life goes really, really fast. If you get this is going to force you to sit back and kind of enjoy life in a way and kind of reflect on what's happened so far and really appreciate life for what it is. And you're walking. When I went through Limb Lengthening, I never took walking for granted after that. I mean, I kind of do now, but like, I think that when you have your legs taken away from you, you really realize that a lot of people aren't as lucky as us. So, I mean, I'm so glad that you're healing really well. What about your proportions? Now, I know on the last time you were here, a lot of people were asking about, your height proportions to your arm length and all that. Do you have any new data on your wingspan?
I do.
You
So
do, you measured.
yeah, last two times people were asking me, I didn't have the answer. I
Yep.
measured today, so it's 68 inches.
68 inches. Okay, so what is that in centimeters? I think you sent the message to me. I think it's like 173 or something. 173
Exactly.
centimeters. So now you're taller than your wingspan, but you're still within that range of like it probably looking perfectly proportional. When we just saw you on the walker, you looked fine.
When I look at myself in the mirror, it looks fine. Like honestly, like I never even thought of wingspan because I thought my arms were too long. I felt like
Mhm.
they looked too long,
Mhm.
And so for me, when I look in the mirror right now, I feel like it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely do. Now, you saw Dr. G, your surgeon, about 2 weeks ago. Things are looking good. What did she give you an expected time before your bones are healed enough where you can kind of go to crutches or maybe like one crutch or a cane or anything like that in terms of bone healing?
She told me last time I saw her about 2 weeks ago. She told me in a month
Hmm.
uh, I'd be full weight bearing with the walker, just for
Okay.
to make sure I don't fall.
Hmm.
So that's full weight bearing already. And after that, soon the month after, she's gonna be able to tell me like you can go ahead and walk, use maybe a cane to make sure, but you don't have to.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
in January, we'll be able to walk. My initial goal was for Christmas using a cane.
Hmm.
That's coming up quite fast.
Oh yeah, it is. It's going to be here in like literally a month. So awesome, man. So about a month. Again, you're the one guy that we're kind of following from day zero before the surgery all the way in through consolidation. You're going to be that kind of that playlist that we're going to be able to have on Cyborg Life. So we really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Now, when you look at yourself, I'm going to actually pull up your. I'm going to pause this video here and put it back up so everybody can see your proportions because we're kind of talking about it now. So if you can see that there, although he's holding on a walker and he has a jacket on, you can see his proportions, guys, in clothing. And this is what I say. He got femur lengthening done. He got the full, actually a little bit more than 3.15 inches, which is 8 centimeters on his femurs. But if you look at this is so hard, even for somebody with me with trained eyes, to tell that this guy had stature lengthening done. Like I'd have to literally look at where
You
his
wouldn't
knees
be able
bent
to
and
say it. You wouldn't be able to tell.
I wouldn't be able to with clothing. Like you'd have to be wearing like really, really high briefs or trunks for me to say, okay, maybe this guy, because I know about it. But even then, I'd be like, oh, he just has longer femurs. But this looks like a perfectly normal person who's 6 foot walking through the mall using a walker right now. But in a month's time, he won't be. So incredible, man. So for anybody out there who's thinking about, proportions being a big obstacle for you getting stature lengthening done, take JP as an example. He got the full maximum length that those internal nails will give you. And this is what he looks like after lengthening. This was this morning, right?
Yeah, this morning. This morning.
This morning.
And
So,
you know what? I feel like the shape of my legs since it's got longer,
mm,
it looks better. To me it looks better. So people are worried with proportions sometimes. I gotta say it's an idea that went through my mind as well. Like I was a bit afraid with proportions, but
yeah.
all in all, it made it to me. It made it better. Like it's not an issue for me now that I look at it.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe some people will do the surgery and will
Hmm.
want to go get 6 centimeters instead of 8. To make sure that it looks more proportional if they're shorter people in to begin with.
Hmm.
So and they can do it. If they want less, they can have less too.
Absolutely. And that's what I tell people. That's one of my words of advice to them is lengthen and observe. It's like, hey, look, you do what JP's doing. Use that walker every day. Document yourself and look at yourself in the video or in a mirror and say, do I like how I'm looking? And if you don't, stop. That's a perfect time to stop. But if you say, hey, look, it doesn't look bad. I don't know what I was so worried about. achieve your goal, go for it. Assuming that everything is lengthening fine. Now, JP, did you have any complications along the way in terms of like muscle contractures? You said you had some nerve irritation. That's expected, but any times of muscle contractures that kind of prevented you from lengthening, or was physiotherapy sufficient enough that it was smooth sailing?
It was smooth sailing for me.
Awesome.
And my
Fantastic.
physio told me this the first day he saw me. He told me, like, I believe with this level of pain and the way you, maybe not the first day, within the first few weeks that he was seeing me, he told me, he could see I was doing my exercises. He could see that like my pain was relatively low. So he told me, like, it's gonna go well. And I trusted him, and along the way, like, it went well. There was no bump along the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think that
Except for
physiotherapy.
except for the little burns I felt. But that's, I mean, that's only when I was sitting in the car for a long time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
happen otherwise. So
Right. You're going to get stiff and, everything like that, but you can always, stretch that out afterwards. Now, really the final question that I want to ask here, because I mean, we're going to continue to have you on, and then we're going to get into some other discussions here in a minute, but are you happy that you went through with this stature lengthening procedure?
of course, I'm happy.
That's so cool.
Like, I wish that this time in my life where I had like 6 months that was possible for me to do it. I wish that happened before.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you wish you would have done it sooner, essentially.
Yeah.
That's
Now
what
I had the time to do it. I had the possibility to take a few months, and do the surgery. But I wish that would have happened like earlier on in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, man. Listen, you're not in the minority here. I hear that from probably, I'd say 90% of stature lengthening patients who get this done. They say, I wish I would have done this sooner. But you're right. Life kind of just opened up this time. You had that opportunity. You struck.
That's what I mean.
You got it done. This is incredible, man. I'm so happy for you. Awesome, JP. Cool, man. So yeah, so what I want to do now, we're going to do the question and answer kind of towards the end, but there's actually a few questions that were sent in from somebody to kind of discuss limb lengthening. I want to, have you on. You're a guest here, so we can kind of do this, and we'll bring Randy on here as well. Randy, you can come on if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Let me just share the presentation here. Randy, you have any questions for JP while I'm pulling up this?
Could you hear me?
Now
Yes,
we can.
Okay, good. Hi, JP. Looking good.
Hi.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's give them all
finally.
hands and flags. Give it up for JP.
Yeah. And those x-rays looks great.
Sure.
Thanks.
Oh, that was a long one. Let me I'm gonna pull up the little presentation here. But Randy, yeah, man. So did you think that JP's walking looked good? Like in the walker?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And then
basically.
for how long it's been since finished lengthening, he's doing great, I think. Yeah.
Great.
I'm just like a month or two ahead of him.
Yeah, that's right. When did you get yours, Randy? When did you get your surgery?
In May. My femur's in May, but my tibia's was in December last year.
December last year. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, you're just a few months ahead of him, and you guys are both. Randy got closer to the full 5 inches, which is crazy. But we're gonna hopefully get some walking videos from him sometime later this winter.
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
But I just started walking a month ago, and then my walking gait has improved dramatically in the last week. I'm assuming the next months will be a lot better.
Cool. All righty. So can you guys see that? You can see that. Okay, cool. So yeah, the agenda for today. We did an update interview with JP. So next up, we're going to talk about. I kind of mentioned this last week. There was a documentary that we want to kind of chat about, a reality TV show, and a novel that's happening. I'm pretty much doing a call to action to get some of you guys, prospective, current, or former limb lengthening patients. If you're interested, feel free to email me, victor@cyborgforlife.com. I'll kind of go over this in a second. Then we'll talk about the collective service update. I talked to my business partner. We're kind of unraveling that more with the surgeons and what we're doing. I think a lot of you guys are excited about that. I get a lot of messages of people trying to pick surgeons, figure out, have questions about like what's happening during their lengthening. Thankfully we have people like JP coming on the channel. We have, patients like Randy to kind of talk about this, but this service is going to help kind of, solve a lot of those problems. Then we have the discussion, which we're going to go to now, or after the update. So let's go ahead and go through this. So any patients who are, prospective, current, past, there is a Canadian documentary. I guess it's a channel. JP, you've heard of this lady, right, Maya?
Yeah, she works for CTV, so that's a Canadian channel. I don't know if I was allowed to say it, but
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine.
okay. So she basically want to do a documentary on this, so she approached me for, and you as well. She approached you as well
Yep.
for a few questions. You know, she's doing her research right now, and she wants to go on and present this to a producer. So
Yeah. Yeah. So Randy, if you're interested or anybody else who's interested, Randy actually gave her your email, but I don't know if she reached out to you yet. Did she?
She already has, yeah.
Yeah, she's hungry. So yeah, guys, I think this is good because patients like you guys who come through this channel, I trust. I think that we're trying to put a really positive light on stature lengthening because there's a really heavy stigma surrounding the procedure. And I think that if she does this right, I mean, she's going to probably her team's going to fly to Baltimore here and do some B-roll of me doing like a live or something. And I'm going to we want to really direct the narrative, and I want to kind of dispel the stigma as much as possible so that this surgery can have a healthy reputation so that other people like JP or Randy or whoever, even me in the future, may get this done. They don't have to deal with the social scrutiny from everybody in the general public. So now
you said this, that you feel like you want to try and direct the narrative, because I was worried with that documentary that one of my hesitations was that, like, I don't want this procedure or this surgery to be presented as an entertainment. I don't want to
absolutely.
be entertaining people. It's serious business.
Yes.
People
Yes.
want this because they feel a certain way, and
Mhm.
this surgery is to help them. It's not to entertain people on TV.
No.
So if it's done correctly, it's done correctly. It's gonna be good. If they, I don't know. So I'm happy you said you feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And I think that's what I kind of vetted when I talked to her, I really kind of told her my worries, my concerns of there's a lot of clinics that don't know what they're doing in terms of this. There's also patients who are unbeknownst to this procedure. And I want them to not just come in as I want them to view it as, hey, look, if they truly feel like they can align with the same values that you're going through with this procedure, like yourself, like they feel like this was a insecurity or this is one area of their attributes that they wanted to boost, they can do that. And like you said, it's serious, but at the same time, we want to showcase patients who actually went through this. And I think that people like you represent that really well. So now the reality TV show, on the other hand, that's kind of like a toss up, but I talked to her as well, Rachel Sobel. She's looking for the same type of patients, but it is a reality TV show about cosmetic limb lengthening. She's trying to cast do more of a casting pitch to or she's a producer trying to do a pitch to the casting director or whatever it is. And I think that could bring awareness as well if done correctly. But I want people to kind of get in a conversation where it would be, either me, the patient, and her, and really to kind of make sure that it's going to be done correctly, or else we're not going to do it. I think that's got to be, because the reason why I'm going to say this is because I don't want her to go to some clinic that they'd happily, offer one of their patients to do it, and then it makes a mockery of the situation. That's why I'm almost kind of jumping on the bit here, because usually I would say no to these things, but I know that there's patients out there, the clinics are out there that are using for PR and marketing that are going to hop on this. And I'm trying to get in there first to say, hey, look, let's do this the right way so we can prevent lengthening from getting a bad rap, if you understand what I'm saying.
And I told her, Maya, the journalist, I told her, like, you can speak to Victor. You see, it's very professional,
Thank you.
I'm happy that, like, she's gonna be dealing with that, and that you feel the same way, because bringing awareness is good, but there's a way to do it.
Yes, absolutely. A way to do it professionally and not make a mockery of it. And then finally, we have a novel. This can be done from international patients here in the US, Canada, anywhere. And this guy, like I said, it's very vague. I got to be kind of quiet with it, not a whole lot. But if you want to be, if you're a stature lengthening patient, you want your story kind of heard, feel free to reach out to me. I can put you in touch with this guy. He's a novelist. So JP, if you'd like to be in that, I kind of told you about that. Randy, anybody who's out there, he can talk to a few of you. I think it's just, he's trying to do a chapter on stature lengthening. And I think that this would be really good. And again, I think that you guys are responsible patients who understand what it meant to go through this in a safe manner. So cool. All right. So then next up, so this is just kind of a follow-up on the collective service that we kind of unveiled last week. So we have a little bit more of a development here. So we have the surgeon portal, which is going to be free access to everybody. It's going to be like a list of all the top surgeons that, again, Cyborg for Life kind of is endorsing. The list can change over time. There may be surgeons who are added over time. They may have some, features or, stuff of their clinic that's edited, and there might be surgeons who are removed over time. For example, on this channel, there's surgeons who may not be on that list at all. And then we're going to have 3 different kind of packages. The pricing is going to be coming soon, but as you can see, there's a monthly model. There's a lengthening model for people who just want it for the lengthening phase. And then we have like the whole process up until your removal. But basically, Limb Lengthening Surgeon Portal, you get the expert meetings with the physical therapist, the nutritionist, the surgeons. You have the private Telegram group with the League of Patients. You can also ask surgeons in there because obviously you're going to be prospective patients, so they're going to want to talk to you and try to sell you their surgery services. But at the same time, you can ask some surgeon questions. So you can say, hey, look, can you take a look at this x-ray? Hey, what do you think about this nerve thing? And you can get expert surgeon advice. So I think that's super valuable there. We're also working on a proportionate app or a mock-up from an expert. We're trying to get that going as well. And, you get more in the lengthening and removal because they're going to be more expensive, but you get custom virtual physical therapy sessions with the nutritionist, the physical therapist. You can have access to the concierge services and also surgeon consults. So a lot of people have been literally contacting me during the lengthening phase saying, hey, Victor, can you see this x-ray and send it to a surgeon for me? Well, this is going to solve that problem so that you can literally consult with a surgeon, a top surgeon, and get a second opinion. I think that's fantastic because, you usually should trust your surgeon 100%, but a lot of people go to clinics where they don't trust their surgeon and they tell me that. They say, these people are crazy. I don't know why I signed up here. Well, this is going to help you kind of bring you peace of mind a little bit. I hope everybody picks a safe clinic in the first place, but if you don't, at least you have backup and you can literally get top surgeons in the world to kind of look and review your x-rays. So that's kind of what's happening. Again, pricings are coming soon. We'll keep you guys updated on that. All right. So here is the discussion questions that were sent in to me. And this was actually from the novelist, actually. I'll just kind of put it out there. So JP and Randy, we're going to kind of talk about some of these questions he sent in to me. But question number 1 was, he says, do I ever foresee cosmetic stature lengthening having stricter legal mandates, more so separate regulatory certificates, in that orthopedic surgeons will have to get board certified to perform these procedures? Hearing and seeing some of the horror stories now, I can see where something like this could be beneficial. I'm sure it would be far out, but it's an interesting discussion to have with some surgeons you trust. What do you guys think about this? Having like surgical or legal mandates, almost like making sure that they get board certified for cosmetic stature lengthening. What do you think about that?
It's already like that. I don't understand why they got why this question, like, because the doctors are already board certified. And I mean, a board certified surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, is a surgeon, but let's say like the doctor has a fellowship where she does limb lengthening or he does limb lengthening, the fellowship is this, is your specialty over your specialty.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Absolutely. I agree with you.
It's already regulated like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, maybe it means like a residency, like a residency program, which is specifically like cosmetic limb lengthening. But you can't do that. You have to do orthopedic surgery before. So
yeah, I agree with you. I think that he didn't really understand where his question was coming from, but all of these limb lengthening surgeons who do this procedure, they're supposed to go, they're limb lengthening and deformity reconstruction surgeons. So they should be board certified before you see them. So if they're not, run away. Don't go get the surgery done with them by any means. But I think what he was really getting at is should there be like a certificate to say that you have been trained in the most common complications that can arise with cosmetic stature lengthening. And like, I did an interview with Dr. Pele a few weeks ago, and he went through the top 10. I kind of made a list and he said, these are great. Let's present on this. And he went through the top 10 complications. Perhaps that's not a bad idea. And I'll tell you why, because in the last week, I've had a patient who sent me x-rays from his surgeon. And the surgeon was supposedly pretty good, but that surgeon actually sent it to another top surgeon. So they were kind of like, hey, look, I'm not 100% sure on that. And that happens in the medical field. Like you get, you bounce it along around with your colleagues. However, what if they were like, there's like a certificate course where, let's say Dr. Paley, Dr. Rosberg, or the top surgeons in the world have are training or like making sure that this yearly stature lengthening course or certificate, people are going through it and getting this and saying, hey, look, you're good for cosmetic limb lengthening, which really, if you can do a discrepancy fix, you can most likely do a stature lengthening fix. But there are, other complications. So I think that might be what he's going at. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, these regulations needs to be enforced in certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
In North
That's
America,
true.
I think we're great.
Yeah,
We're doing great. But
Exactly.
overseas, I could see certain parts of the world needing this for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that, like more of an international thing should be like a collective there as well. Very cool, man. Awesome. All right. So next question, he had like 4 of them. I didn't really read them. I just copied them from my phone, but excuse me. What kind of feeling are you getting out there about doctors wanting to make their entire practice cosmetic? Is this the drive for some of these doctors, or are most of them still doing other orthopedic type procedures? Yeah. Like, so JP, what do you think on that? Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me put that back up. There you go.
Well, I mean, if a surgeon wants to make their practice entirely cosmetic because they have strong convictions about it, and they know it's going to help people feel better, and they know it's going to help people in a certain way, I mean, why not, if it's their expertise,
Yeah. Randy?
I could see certain doctors growing into this, but I don't think that they should ever start off just doing cosmetic limb lengthening as like the first thing they ever do. They need to go through years of other practices like limb deformities and other parts of the orthopedic industry.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think though, if I were to kind of dive into his question a little deeper and kind of take it from where I think he's coming from, and I think there's a surgeon who's actually planning to do this, but if that surgeon is literally one of the top surgeons, and they create a new clinic that they're they got the goods, they know how to do the surgery safely, and they make one just for stature lengthening, but it carries their name with it, I think that could be okay. But like you said, Randy, that person has had to go through all kinds of training for deformity, discrepancy, and all kinds of orthopedic fixes. But I think that as this procedure gets bigger, if that surgeon is obviously board certified in orthopedics, limb lengthening, and deformity correction, and they grow their brand big enough, I don't really see a huge issue with it, because now you cater that clinic to the stature lengthening community specifically, which they can still treat discrepancies there. And they are surgeons, but it kind of creates this community, this environment for stature lengthening patients, which I think kind of needs it because there's this huge underground community for cosmetic limb lengthening, but now it's starting to kind of come out, and I think that's kind of healthy for the industry a little bit. So I kind of agree with both of you.
There's also this idea of like, I can understand the point of view where as a doctor you also feel like you have to give back to the society, so you have to like work at the hospital, work in the ER, treat different types of cases, not only cosmetic, mostly not cosmetic, as part of the job. But it doesn't change the fact that some doctors, they do mostly aesthetic procedures, and they have their clients, they have the right field for it. But I believe it comes down also to a personal choice of the doctor.
Absolutely. It does. Yep. And at the end of the day, it does come down to that doctor knowing what they're doing. So, okay. So this is his third question. Excuse me, guys. I swear it's been like 3 weeks now that I've had this congestion. You've mentioned surgeons have fallen off this top 10 list. He's talking about the collective that you're going to come out with. I assume one bad patient testimony won't necessarily drop a good surgeon from being within that top caliber, because oftentimes you hear about complications more than success stories. My question to you is, do you see any of these surgeons climbing back up that ladder for you in the coming years, or even getting on the channel to defend themselves? Interesting dynamics in play there. JP, I mean, this is more of a direct question to me, but I want to kind of get your take on this. So like, let's say that you had 3 surgeons who you were kind of prospecting to get the surgery done with, right? And one of the surgeons had really bad complications. Let's say 2 of the surgeons had really bad complications with just one and 2 other patients, right? Like one surgeon had 1 patient, the other one had 2 patients who had bad complications. The other surgeon was clean slate for that time period that you were prospecting them. Would you completely write them off, or would you say, hey, look, let me give them another chance to kind of like possibly, get in my good graces and be another pick for my surgeons?
It all depends on why the complications occurred in the first place, If
Yeah.
it occurred because the patient wasn't compliant with the exercises, the physical therapy, then that's one thing. If complication occurred because of a surgeon, that's another thing. But like, I mean, I'd have to dive into it and really see the complications, what they're due to, and no, so I wouldn't cross them off. I would look into it, make
Hmm.
sure. And also, for me, the biggest factor with going with Dr. Gdalvich was the fact that she's the only one in Canada. So sometimes you have the choice, but sometimes you want, if you want to stay in your country, you know you have only one choice. And
Hmm.
I was happy that it was the only choice I got, because from what I read, I mean, she was very good. And complications, I went on forums, reading on it, but I never really saw a case where, I mean, probably happened, but the most important part, you said it before, is to trust your surgeon.
Yeah.
And if for you, the fact that the surgeon had a complication before it means that you can't trust them anymore, then it's okay if you want to go with someone else, I guess. But
Mhm. I love that.
depends.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great one. Randy, what do you think about this?
I agree with JP mostly, yeah. But it also depends on like what type of complication as well.
Hmm.
If there are things that happens normally, and then you're supposed to follow procedures that you're trained to do, but you didn't or you didn't know about, that's
Hmm.
just. But there are certain things that you can't control, and it happens. It happens. There's not much you can do. Then that's something you could probably climb back on the ladder for. I wouldn't ever blame you for certain things.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. That's fantastic. And I agree. I think that, especially me talking to a lot of surgeons, talking to a lot more patients, and seeing a lot of complications throughout these 2.5 years that I've been doing this. I definitely never write off a surgeon because of one complication, or even if it's severe, because I know it happens. But like you said, what is the complication? How did it happen? And did they learn from it? Are they constantly repeating that complication? Like, is it serious
Mhm.
infections happening over and over again? Is it bone malalignment happening over and over again? And they not learning from this? Or is it like a 50-50 split? Like 50% of their patients are doing really well and they're showcasing a lot of that, but then the other 50% are never to be heard from again, yet through my email inbox and messaging me about multiple surgeries that they have to have after the fact. I think that really brings on a dynamic of having a good surgeon and not. But I'll say that patient testimonial and feedback about, and it's like, let's say in the masses, like if I get like 5 to 8 patients who all say, yeah, this surgeon did this, yeah, this surgeon behaves like that behind doors, then it kind of helps me to kind of rate that surgeon a lot better. And that's what I've done. That's how I rate surgeons, is more so through patient feedback. Because sometimes even surgeons kind of all, yeah, so that's kind of how I do it. I kind of rank it through patient
Mhm.
feedback. So awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Next discussion point. Yeah, this I think this was just for me. I kind of read this literally. I copied and pasted it last minute, but he's saying this one's just for food for thought. He's basically saying Cyborg for Life. I kind of talked to him about some things, some projects I'm working on right now, and I mentioned it last week. And he's saying, "Am I going too fast?" Well, people say, "Victor, you're branching out too much. You should just focus on building the brand of Cyborg for Life. The core fundamentals. The channel, talking to patients, and doing things like that." He's saying, do you need to make multiple LLCs or little subsidiary businesses out of this? Or what are you going to do? Like, are we diluting Cyborg for Life? And I told him, well, I want to tell him right here, but I don't think so. I think that with this limb lengthening industry, there are a good handful of projects on the different burners, if you will, and some that I can't talk about because I've kind of signed into non-disclosure. But I think it's all going to benefit the industry. Like I said, I like to consider myself a visionary. I kind of manifest things and I kind of see things ahead of time. And I'm kind of talking to certain people who I think can make a big impact in this industry. And every prospective patient in the future will be very, very happy if these things come to happen. So No, my answer is no. I don't think I'm branching out too much. I think that we're staying pretty. What are we doing? We're interviewing patients. We're interviewing surgeons. We're building the brand. We are unveiling a new service, which I think is going to help patients, pick safely and limit the complications. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to do right by the patients. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this cyborg flight's going too far too fast? JP?
I believe it. I mean, at the same time, you have to renew your content. You can't
Okay.
always put up the same content. You used to years ago. You used to do videos, no lives, just videos, uploading videos. And then it evolved into live videos.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I agree that you have to keep evolving. Or else it's just gonna, you know, people are gonna get bored maybe. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, if you evolve and you branch out, it's better. And if one day you realize it's too fast, then you can just take your time and slow down at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Randy, what do you think?
I see where this, I guess, this patient is coming from, but there's more than just viewers to your channel now. Like I see that there's patients who need your help. Like
Yeah.
I sent you my X-rays every single step of the way, and you
Yeah.
got my feedback. So I'm assuming you have that times 100 to 1,000. So there's
Yeah.
viewers who needs those help as well. And
Yeah.
then you're
Yeah.
not growing out of a thought, you're growing out of need because there are people who's literally asking you to do this.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. And I think that's what my answer, my rebuttal to this is that basically, no, JP's 100% right. Like definitely the content needs a complete revamp. It's more of a time thing for me. So, like I have beautiful ideas on paper that I want to do, but cyborg life has turned into like a patient customer
Yeah.
service industry. Like
Yeah.
if you guys literally look, I wanted to post on my Instagram. I looked back and I said, when's my last post? It was like 2.5 years ago. The reason why is because if you guys see my email inbox, my WhatsApp, my Instagram direct message, my Facebook, my I could go through any like Discord social media platform and they're full like every day, like 5 to 6 messages. And each one is asking like serious questions, and I got to like literally think about what I'm saying because this is like serious stuff. So before I know it, it's in the day. I'm tired. I'm like, man, I got to draft up some content. So no, that's definitely why the content has suffered. But that's why I think that coming out with this service can really help. Offload a lot of that off my plate. Don't get me wrong. I've talked about what I'm going to plan to do with some content. What I'm planning to do some review, or what is it called? Live reactions to how to grow taller. Other limb lengthening videos online. I got to figure out how to do that without copyright strikes. But yeah, no, there's been some ideas that were pitched to me in the last week that I think are really interesting, and I'd love to bring them to the channel. But if you guys have like topic ideas, or if you want to collaborate with me to help you out with the content that'll make it easier on me, I'd be more than glad to kind of do that. And if this, like I said, if this service blows up big enough, and there's some surgeons who we might partner with, it could take me away from a lot of my daily tasks. I think we can scale this industry a lot further, a lot faster, and I don't think it'll dilute. But thank you guys for that feedback. That's fantastic. All right, so let's see what's next. I think it's live Q&A time, and then we'll call it. Let me just pull it up. Yeah, so number 5, live Q&A. So let's go ahead and do this, and then we'll do an outro. So let me stop sharing here. Boom. All right, we guys are here. Let me just put this little thing here. Oh, Randy, you're at the bottom. All right. Marge A. What specific exercises can cause wear and tear to the spine, culminating in spinal decompression and resulting in height loss in one's 50s or 60s? I heard the deadlift is one. Interesting.
I would say anything repetitive, anything that's repetitive can cause, a bit of damage to your, something physical that's repetitive on the long term can, be a risk factor for this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think deadlifts definitely is one, believe me, because I measured myself in the morning. That's when I'm the 174.5. End of the day, definitely not. It definitely gives you spinal compression. But I think, or axial compression. I think also, like you said, repetitive stuff. My knee was taking a lot of repetitive overuse, and it was getting worn down over the years. So, okay. After me, she's back. Excuse me. How is the pain towards the end of lengthening, and how is your walk now, JP?
The pain for me towards the end of lengthening wasn't that bad because we slowed down the lengthening process. The pain for me was at worst like towards 6 centimeters because my hamstring was really tight, the left one, And after, when we stopped, when we slowed down the lengthening, it went better. And now, how is your walk now? We saw it in the video. It's not perfect, and it's a work in progress, but
Yeah.
it's getting better every day. And there's no pain at all, no pain at all. I don't take no medication, then I'm fine.
That's awesome. Randy, what about your pain? Like towards the end of lengthening, did it kind of simmer down a bit?
toward in the lengthening. No, it was easier at the beginning for me, and when it got to the end, it got harder for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, okay, gotcha. Towards the end of lengthening, gotcha. Was it because of
Yeah.
the muscles? The muscles were tight.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
gotcha. But the bone pain, like from the surgery, that was gone pretty much,
Oh,
right?
that was gone. That
Okay.
was gone. Yeah,
Gotcha. Cool. Awesome. Is your walk getting better, Randy?
totally. I feel like I have been walking for like a month now, and then my
Yeah.
walking gait is just getting better day by day. I wake up, I could walk better. Give me
That's
another
awesome.
30 days, I feel like I could walk normal. I went shopping without any assistance. It was pretty easy.
What? That's crazy,
Oh,
man.
yeah?
How
Yeah,
long?
I was walking around in the Walmart.
That's very good. Very good.
As a 6'1" guy, that's awesome. Alamut, hi. I will also have the surgery done. When can you switch from a wheelchair to a walker and crutches? It is very difficult for me psychologically that I will have to spend some time in a wheelchair. JP.
Okay, so depending on which type of nail you have, if you have a non-fully weight-bearing nail, you're going to be able to switch from a wheelchair to a walker like relatively soon, but you won't be able to put a lot of weight on your legs. So you'll be able to basically walk with a walker right after surgery. But as for pain, the pain is gonna prevent you from doing certain types of motions that you would normally do. But other than that, you don't have to have a wheelchair for a very long time. You In fact, my doctor didn't tell me I would need a wheelchair. Like it was walker, um, and basically using a seat raiser on the toilet, and different types of helps like that. But she never mentioned a walker, and the reason for this, I believe, is because she wanted me to walk a lot, because walking I believe, is one of the things that helped me the most throughout the process. Walking a lot made it way easier for my to relieve my muscle tightness.
Yeah, I love that. I think as long as you're using the walker, guys, you are pretty mobile during this process. It's like you're not walking freely because it's not full weight bearing. So you can use the walker. He was in the mall, for goodness sake. Like, come on. Oh, Randy, is this kind of the same for you too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like timing wise, I guess wheelchair, you still need your wheelchair for going out. Probably 90 days you can do consolidation, and then 90 to 100 days you could get on the crutches and get around. And then maybe a month after that, you could ditch the crutches.
Yeah, and the thing I wanted to say, when I say you don't need a wheelchair, you don't need a wheelchair to walk around the house. But if you want to go do the grocery and do long distance, you're going to need a wheelchair.
Yeah, for sure. Because
Exactly.
you're going to get tired on your walker, and it's going to take a long time. You might make a mistake. So, absolutely. DJ Cyborg. Hey, JP. How long has it been since surgery day? I just joined the live.
Hey, I remember DJ Cyborg. So it's been a little over 3 months. Like, my surgery was August 1st. So
So yeah, 3.5 months. Yeah, 3.5 months. And again, it's because he slowed down at the end, just because he was feeling that nerve issue. But he's right on the money, and he got his full length. So that's awesome, man.
It's been about like 110 days. So
yeah. Jay Balakat, what has been your favorite hobby for the past 3 months?
My friend asking this question. So I've been, playing guitar mostly.
Playing the guitar.
Playing
Getting
guitar.
good, better.
Yeah.
Jamming out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How's it going at home with your mother? Does she keep supporting you?
Very important question. You need to have someone supporting you at home, eh? If you don't have someone supporting you, you can do it, but it's gonna be very, very difficult. Like, you're gonna have a lot of trouble cooking for yourself at first in the first weeks. You're gonna want to order food, but you're gonna have trouble picking it up from the ground. if you don't have a wheelchair, you know. And
Yeah,
you can work around these things, but it's going to be much harder. And I wouldn't imagine of, like, without my mother, I wouldn't imagine how I would have done it. It would
that's
have been
awesome.
much harder.
Yeah.
Like, almost, I don't know if I would have been able to do it, you know.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, no, caretakers are so important. And if it's not a family member or a friend or a loved one, it could be a little caretaker you can hire, but you need some help. That's what JP is saying here.
And you have to have some, someone that wants to help you, and someone
Mm.
that, not, if you hire someone, they're going to want to help you, I mean, but to have
So you start
support
paying them.
from your relatives helps, it helps a lot, it helps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
if you stop paying the caretaker, they're like, I'm gone. See ya. And you're left alone with two broken legs. Yeah. All right. GGGG. How did he pay for the surgery?
so basically, for in my case, I had been waiting 7 years for the surgery,
Wow.
so I had time to save up, I had time to buy a truck, to sell the truck, buy a boat, sell the boat more expensive during COVID, make money, do what I had to do. And the money that I had left, to pay, I was able to figure out a way to loan it, so for
Nice.
me, it wasn't an issue.
Very cool. Saving. Can you go up and down the stairs easily?
uh using crutches, I can do it, using crutches, but before I could do it easily, it took like 2 months. I
Mhm.
almost fell one day. I almost fell in the stairs.
Shoot. Oh, I'm
It
glad
got
you
very
didn't, man.
scary. Yeah, I had the crutches. I was walking, but one of the crutches slipped,
Oh
and
no.
my leg slipped like that.
Yeah.
I had my friend over here. I always have someone looking at me when I climb the stairs, to make
Okay.
sure that if this sort of thing happened, we have someone that can hold me. So
Oh,
I
that's
was
awesome.
falling, and my friend, she grabbed me. She held
Mm.
me, and I was like, like, I wasn't sure, and I eventually I was able to grab the ramp. But having someone looking at you when you move up the stairs is very important.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. Yeah, because I'll tell you, this year I heard of a surprisingly it was a discrepancy patient because he was going up the stairs with one crutch and he actually did stumble and fall down the stairs. He fractured his wrist and he bent the rod, so he had to go and get a nail swap. Luckily, he was done lengthening, but he still had to get a nail swap because it was a bent rod. And so things can happen. So be very careful on those stairs.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Complications can happen because if you're not lucky, you walk, you slip,
Yeah,
and this sort of things can happen.
absolutely, absolutely, and hopefully nothing happens. I mean, there's been multiple patients that have fallen this year, but some of them only been a few of them been unlucky. How soon do you think you can drive? That's a good one.
Oh, this is a good question as well.
Yeah.
I feel like driving. Like, these past few days, I wanted to drive. I wanted to drive my car, do my stuff. I
Mm,
couldn't do it. So I think maybe in 2 months.
2 months. Okay, that's fair. That's what I hear from most surgeons. They say just wait till you're through consolidation. It's safe. Joey Patrick, did he stretch a lot before surgery or no?
I did.
He
I
did.
did stretch a lot before surgery. I started stretching, like, listen, because I didn't know exactly when my date was gonna be, my surgery. So at first I wanted to do it around like the same time as Randy.
Hmm.
May, April, and but I was still at school, so I pushed it back. So in doing that, when at the time of the surgery, I had been stretching for like 6 7 months prior to the surgery.
Wow, that's crazy, man. You did better than most patients ever do. That's incredible. Were there days when it was psychologically difficult not to be able to walk like others?
Yeah, there were days where it was more difficult. Of course,
Mm,
yeah, sometimes it's annoying. Like, especially when like, you meet people. Sometimes, like, with my friends, I still was going out, like,
mhm.
see people, and I met different people. And after that, you still want to go out, but you can't do it alone. You always have to have someone. So
Yeah, no, for sure. Takes time. Devin May, how have family and friends reacted to your new height?
that that was funny reactions. Some people, they noticed really, like, fast, and
Mhm.
these are the people that, like, they accepted it more easily. Some people took longer to realize. They were like, they needed to stand next to me in my family, and they were like, okay, now you're a bit taller, you know. And but and some people, I mean, they reacted. They were happy for me that, you know, they. It's hard to say. You don't really never know what like the other person thinks about it unless you're that person, you know.
Mhm.
It's hard to
Yeah.
say how to.
Right. And the thing is, you're still in the walk right now. I mean, you were in the mall there. I mean, you said it's snowing, but I'm sure in the next month or two, you'll be able to really get that that answer. Do you feel taller than most people when you see them walking out in public? Just like I was just asking.
Yes. Now, before I felt shorter than most people because I
Mhm.
was a little shorter than 5'9". 5'9" is the average height, and by gaining just, you know, 3.1 something inches,
Mhm.
uh, made me a bit more than 6 foot. So when you look at the numbers, this is, you know, you see it's taller than average, but you experience it when you walk in public.
Yeah.
Before I was never the tallest, like but sometimes I was, but never the tallest. Like I was
Mhm.
sometimes like mostly like other ones, but now often I walk into places and like I'm the tallest. That never happened to me before. Never,
Yeah,
never.
man, you look pretty tall in that mall there for a second. It's pretty cool, man. I can't wait
But
to
you know,
follow up when you're starting to walk. You're like, oh man, the world is different.
but the goal is not to be the tallest. You know, the goal is to feel better with the height that you were before. If
Mhm.
for me, I felt like 5'9" wasn't enough, but 6 would be good enough for me. And
Mhm.
now that I'm at 6, I wouldn't want to be more. But some people they would want to be 6'2".
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So it depends on someone. I mean, it's not the goal is not to be the tallest. You know, that's what
Yeah,
I mean.
absolutely. It's all about that, that relative comparison of where you were before to where you are now and how you feel about yourself. That's what it
Exactly.
is. Because I mean, there's some people like I get emails from people who are 5'1", 5'3", and they're just getting to 5'4" or 5'6", which is considered still short. But guess what? They feel completely different, and they're happy. They're like, hey, look, I don't need any more lengthening. I'm happy here, and because 3 inches is a lot. I mean, it's like so. Um, how difficult is it to achieve 5 inches? Is 5 inches still safe?
That's a question for Randy.
Yeah,
Mm.
Randy.
Yeah, it's quite difficult if you do them like together or like simultaneously. So if you split them up, it gets easier. So do your
Mm,
tibias and then do your femurs, and then it becomes a lot easier.
yep,
Just
spaced them
have
And
out.
it,
a
and
little
it's
background
safe.
here. Just have a little background here, Randy, because you did quadrilateral and you
Yes.
started with tibias, or
Yeah. Yep.
okay,
Exactly.
okay,
Hmm.
you started with tibias, and then how long after did you do your femurs?
So after I stopped lengthening, I waited about a month and a half. Yep. A month and a
Okay,
half. And then I did my femur surgery.
so
Okay,
6 weeks.
But your femurs still consolidate faster than your tibias.
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Yeah, they heal so much faster. A lot more blood flow. Are you able to squat?
Not yet, not yet.
this this guy wants you to get under the bar and let's go, JB. Drive, walk, squat. Let's go. DJ Cyborg, how many hours per day did you stretch during distraction during your lengthening phase?
Well, there's 1 hour I was stretching with my physical therapist, and then when you add up my like 4 times I was stretching, maybe I'd say another hour,
Mhm.
and that's excluding walk. So I'd say about like 2 hours total, 2 hours to 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's efficient right there. I think people and some people need more, some people need less, but it's all about how efficient you're stretching. I think, right? Because it's like
Yes,
if you're getting something out of the
Hmm.
sessions, you'll notice the effect versus if you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna move my leg back like this 10 times. If you're not doing anything, it's not gonna do anything in that session. So
exactly. And my physical therapist came up with something. He read a study. It said that the stretches will be like, according to that study, they said that stretching are more is I mean the stretching is more efficient if you do it for longer than 5 minutes in
mhm.
like let's say you do static stretch, like you're on your tummy and you just want to stretch your hamstrings, so you just want to, you know, lay on your tummy,
Mhm.
and you're gonna wait 5-10 minutes. You're gonna feel it less at first because you're not actively stretching it, but after 10 minutes it's gonna be hard to stay in that position, And those type of stretches are the ones that I found were the most beneficials.
Interesting. So
The one
longer
over 5 minutes. Yeah.
over 5 minutes. Well, that's a nice little tip there, guys. Pick that out. It's like stretch for longer duration. So 30 minutes probably at a time. Then it'd
Yeah.
be good. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Mel, hey JP, can you use your old pants or do you need to buy new ones? That's a common question.
I mean, some of them, like, I needed to. I'm not wearing them anymore, so
He's
they're
gonna
too short
need
for them.
Yeah, 3 inches is quite a bit. But I've heard like most patients could probably squeeze in them as long as their waist didn't get bigger or smaller. JP, do you plan to specialize in this type of surgery in your medical studies? Oh, good question.
Well, this is very interesting because I had this thought before doing the surgery,
Mhm.
and I always wanted to, like, do more like physical. Family medicine, family.
Family.
Type of
Mhm.
this. But as I was doing the surgery and as I was, seeing Dr. G more frequently, and we were talking about, the X-rays and talking about, she asked me a few questions about residency. She asked me if I wanted to do mostly like surgery or not surgery. Told her I wasn't sure, and she asked me, have you thought about it? About doing this type of surgery for residency, and I told her I'm like, not sure, because not because I listen, I would love to do it. I'd be very, 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 like, interested in doing it. But the thing is, you have to realize, like, you have to be good to do this. You have to be good manually. You have to be very good. You have to
Yeah.
be, and I don't know if I'm good enough for this. So I
Okay.
have
Oh,
to.
I like
Wow.
that. I like that honesty. And here's the thing: it's like you could get better, but at the same time, it's like, hey, look, your confidence in doing something has to be top notch. This is no joke. I mean, and I think that's where it comes in. I think a lot of surgeons catch on very easily to this. Like they just have they fall in sync with it, but then some surgeons just takes longer, and that's where the complications happen. And you're right. To be really good at this, to be a top name, these guys, a lot of them can fix like, ACLs and, broken legs with their eyes closed. When you talk about limb deformities, that's like a Frankenstein bone deconstruct. It's the 3D arrangement in their brain, what's going through of how to connect what do you call it, an external ring fixator, like a hexapod or, an Ilizarov ring fixator. It's incredible when you actually sit down and listen to these people. Their minds are they just work different. They're wired differently. So. But man, shoot for the stars. don't let that stop you, JP. Because I actually, when I was had my surgery, I actually did a little internship with Dr. Conway for a little bit, and that kind of pushed me down the path to kind of pursue medical studies a little bit. But then, it wasn't 100% for me after that. Are there people around who you want to do this type of surgery? Around you who want to do this type of surgery?
None of my friends wanted to do it. They were like, they thought it was too much of pain and too much of a sacrifice of time and energy to gain this much height. And I mean, but one of them who used to say this, when he saw my new height, he's like, now the major factor in him not doing it is not the time or the pain or anything, it's the money.
Oh, okay.
I know they will want to do it, but so I know some people around me, maybe one guy would want to do it,
Oh, okay, cool. I think that's cool. It's healthy because you actually get an experience what you went through or see it. And he's like, hey, look, that'd be cool. But the money is a big obstacle. It is.
Yes, it is. And that's something that, like, at the same time, like, I hope the cost is gonna lower over time. I hope. But at the same time, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's only gonna go up like everything else.
I think if the industry stays how it is with these greedy med dev companies, medical device companies, maybe. But I think that if projects on the back burner of Cyborg for Life stove, if they really do come to light, I think that we could be in store for something good where, costs are forced down, and, whether that's going to happen or not, we'll see what happens. So, man, this guy has some great questions. Does he know you?
Yeah, he's my friend. He's my friend. I told him before we were doing the live. I didn't know he was gonna ask every question, but I mean, they're interesting. So.
I was like, this guy has like all these questions. I was like, holy crap! All right, how satisfied is your doctor with your results?
I mean, right now she's really satisfied because I'm making great bone.
Okay,
my
cool.
bone tissue is good, so she's happy. She's happy with the fact that I did my stretches. I mean, she's really happy.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna actually pull up some more of your x-rays here so we can show some of them while we talk. From Hunter, how much of a confidence boost have you gotten after your new height?
I mean, I'm still walking with a walker, so that's not much of a confident booster, you know.
Right. No, for sure. But but I think that yeah, that's cool.
I get what you mean. Like, I mean, with the height, when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel much better. But I haven't experienced like much of a change when I'm out in public because I use a walker.
Use the walker. Yeah, gotcha. Cool. All right. So this one's saying, what else are you doing, Victor?
Oh, this is towards the end. This is like it shows 8, the full 8.
Oh, I didn't even see. Maybe I didn't show this one earlier, did I? Not.
No, you didn't show this one earlier.
Oh, I must have skipped this one. Let me pull this up, guys. So if you see this, let's pull that up. Look at that. The full 8.4. Oh yeah, that is. Hold on, I can't do it because the little thing is showing there. But like, yeah, he's actually gotten more than 8 centimeters. Well,
yeah,
again,
but
that's
as I said, it's not absolutely precise, this one, but it's precise enough to tell that I was, about 8 centimeters. And you can also see with if you go down that picture,
yeah,
you see there's the when my doctor looks at this, she knows how much of gap there is left on the nail to stretch,
Yeah,
and at that point she knew there was a bit more.
Interesting.
Even at that
That's
point.
cool. I didn't know they had that on there. Maybe that's how some patients did say that, like, they got 9 centimeters. I'm like, well, that's not possible, but maybe that's what they're talking about.
Yes, it is possible. Also, for one reason, when they because during the surgery, okay, when she installs an external fixator for the bone before she breaks the bone and before she inserts. But when she breaks the bone and inserts the rod, there might be a little gap,
Yeah.
So a bit more, but not like 1 centimeter.
Yeah, it's like maybe like a quarter or something like that of a centimeter.
And she does it with the machine as well. I mean,
yeah, they do distract you, just kind of test the nail, make sure it works and stuff. I remember they did that, Rich, when I heard his bone break. It was the most.
But there is more to the precise nail than 8 centimeters. If you want to do a bit more, just to adjust for discrepancy in the end. But
okay. It's kind of like a safeguard, essentially, that they have in there. Interesting.
Safety. Important features as well is you can use the precise nail to do a compression. So if you don't want to make the shorter leg longer, you can make the longer leg shorter.
Oh yeah, it can reverse lengthen. Yeah, and you can kind of balance it out. Yeah, that's so cool, man. I think that's why I think that this nail, it has one advantage over the mechanical nails besides the distracted method. Facebook user, what else are you doing, Victor? You mean like doing the live stream, or he's probably means like Cyborg for Life. Yeah, I don't want to get into that now. It's long discussions. It's already almost like an hour and a half, but some really cool stuff. Let's just say that. Do you share your experience on the forums, JP?
No, I've read a long time on the forums, like Limb Lengthening forum since 2015. I read a lot on it, but I'm not on the forum. No.
Okay, that's fair. Very cool.
I mean, I if I told myself by doing these videos, it's gonna share the whole thing.
This is sharing it a lot better than that. And I think also, I think you said on your Instagram, you're very open about it. And you might be doing a documentary soon. I mean, this guy's going to be famous. Who needs to be a doctor when you're about to be a movie star? He's got the looks, the height. He's good. He's set. DJ Cyborg, question for Vic. Will the collective include a supplement stack and the extra stuff you did to get your bone to heal faster? Yeah, so it is crazy. I did do the tibia and I was lengthening at 0.99 millimeters per day, which is 1 centimeter per day. No, not 1 centimeter. I'm sorry.
1 millimeter per day.
1 millimeter per day on the tibias. Yeah, pretty much, because I was doing 0.33 3 times a day. But I was young, early 20s, and I did investigate some crazy things. And I was using a stationary bike probably a little bit before Dr. Conway said I should. But yeah, Dr. C, listen, I had to do it. So that mechanical stress probably helped me heal a little bit faster. So I probably won't recommend that to you guys because I'm not a surgeon, but that is a little bit of Cyborg for Life. If you want to heal a little bit faster. Yeah, but yes, I will definitely give you supplement stacks, anything you want in there. If you do join, I will make sure that you are souped up and Cyborg ready to go when you leave.
Nice.
Mel, since most people lengthen femurs, how comfortable do they feel in settings like airplane seats and small cars? Wouldn't their knees be hitting the back of seats be uncomfortable? That's actually a really good question. So when you're getting in the car, JP, like to go to the mall today, what was it like? Were your knees hitting the back of the front seat?
I gotta say, like, I have long legs now. when you look at my legs and like when I stretch, I have long legs.
Yeah,
So,
long legs.
so when I go sit in the car, like I have to, put the steering wheel up the
Mhm.
most. Then when I stretch my legs, like it's still doable. It's doable, but in a small, very small car, such as like a Smart or a Mini, I don't know.
Mhm.
This I don't know.
Okay. Gotcha. He doesn't know. Okay. Oh,
Obviously.
here's the picture. I didn't even show this one. Were you with
Yes.
Dr. G?
Yep.
Mhm.
Look at that, man. So I don't even know how tall she is, but like that, you're 6 foot, so she's got to be like what, 5'7", maybe?
No, but this was before surgery.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Then you're small. You got to get a new picture then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So next time you go for a checkup, get a new picture. We want to see that on here as well. That's incredible,
Okay.
man.
We'll get in the wrong. This is the for the person that asked me if my pants still fit.
Oh,
So
yeah. Look at that.
that's what
You
it can
need
do.
you need some new sweatpants for sure. I didn't see some of these in here. So, okay. What's this, JP?
This is the markings for the machine. You
Oh,
still
okay,
have
for
to
the
have those
ERC.
markings for 80 days. That's what I wanted to show people. Like that's
Yeah.
that's the location where you put the ERC.
Gotcha. And then we have this scars.
Yep.
Mhm.
Look at that. Minimal incisions. One at the hip here. That's like the mid thigh, I think. Is that near the knee? So that's IT band release, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this one is as low as the knee, but the one at the knee is the IT band release. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
up.
near the knee. Yeah. I can't see because there's like some other. Let me see. Oh, no, this IT band down here by the knee. This is probably another screw or something. Yeah. Because usually there's
Yeah,
what,
these are
4.
locking screws. Maybe I don't know because
Yeah, probably
this
something like
picture
that.
let's see really well because we don't see my whole leg. I just wanted
Right.
to show the ones that are at my level of my hip.
Yeah, man, that's incredible, man. That's awesome that you're sharing all this stuff. Very, very cool. And then this is him from sharing his walk and some fishing. Yeah, I'll keep these up so then we can do it. Okay, so let's see. Hunter, have you met anyone you were shorter than and are now taller than them? How did they feel?
Yeah, almost every of my friends is this way. I was shorter than them and now I'm taller.
That's so
Almost
crazy.
all of my friends.
But they know you got this done, right?
Yes, they know, and
Okay.
that's when one of my friends, he's a bit shorter, and you notice he's like, when he saw me next to another friend, Max, he thought
Mhm.
he said, Max is like, I remember when this guy was a little shorter than you, but
He
now
said that.
I'm much taller than Max. Like not much, but I'm a bit like like you. When I'm standing next to him and you look at the shoulder, I look much taller
Yeah.
because of I have big shoulders.
Your
So,
shoulders, yeah, right.
yeah.
And your height. Now, are all your friends and close ones, are they taken to this well? Are they like, hey, look, this is your choice and we're happy for you? Or are they any of them kind of judging you about getting this done?
I mean, listen, I was surprised because my closest friends and my real friends are the ones that like I already knew who they were, and they're
Mhm,
the ones who accepted it and didn't judge. But I
mhm.
was surprised to see that sometimes some people less, they're acquaintances, they're not like really your friends,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't have thought that they would have judged this type of surgery. But
Mhm,
when you get to tell them, and they're like, yeah, but why did you do it? You were
mhm,
5'9". That's
mhm.
tall enough. 5'9" is tall enough. Like I understand if you're 5'1" doing it, but these persons, they don't understand that you can feel the same way whether you're 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", 5'9". You can have this height dysphoria. So for me, my closest friends are the one that accepted it, but some of them, other people, acquaintances, I could see the ones that were judging.
That's crazy, man. That is so crazy. You get to see who's really in your corner when the thing actually happened. That's incredible. And I think that it might not even be I don't want to judge those people because at the same time they might not understand, but hopefully they do one day. But if they don't, then it just shows you that their ignorance of not really being open to this insecurity was, just what it was, man. How
And
about you,
sometimes,
Randy? Have you seen anybody in your family or friends that have judged you, or have you not been out too much yet?
No, I haven't really seen too many people.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
the one thing that I found that was a bit disturbing was that there was a lady like I met. Okay, she was a friend of a friend, and she said that she wouldn't understand why I would do this surgery, why I would get butchered this way, like take so much time off, like suffer so much. And about like 30, 40 minutes later,
Mm.
She was saying how she would never date the guy that was 5'7".
Wow.
So that's, to me, that's a big contradiction.
Yeah.
To to
That's a
to
huge
go on and
contradiction.
tell someone that had lengthening surgery that like they did that and they shouldn't have done it, and then to not notice that, like, if she's not interested in the guy that's 5'7", maybe this guy knows that like he wants to be taller. So
Wow, that's a crazy dynamic right there. I think that's a powerful. You know what? I think you you got to reach out to the novelist guy. I think you'll have a really powerful a chapter in his book. That's huge. And it was like you said, not even 30 minutes later, she said this.
yeah, not even 30 minutes later, she was, because my other friend showed her a guy. She's like, I like him, but he's a bit short. And she's like, I would never date a guy 5'7".
Wow. But then
And
here you are, just
that shocked
yeah.
me. That shocked me because I was there standing with my walker, and she couldn't understand why I did this surgery.
Mm, mm. Wow, that's crazy, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Mel, did you lose any weight during the process?
I probably gained weight.
The wrong kind of weight. So I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, everybody's, sedentary. Hey, JP, is there something you wish you knew before the surgery, provided that you had been already well informed about it?
I mean, I've looked at a lot of your videos, Cyborg for Life, and I mean, I found a lot of information about it. There's not much I wish I knew before. I mean, almost everything is on there.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and like you said, I'm gonna try to kick up the content, revamp it, and do different things, and just kind of showcase more things and grow the brand. There's a lot more to show. I have a lot of ideas. Just need to create some time. Let's see here. Do you sleep in your bed, or is it too hard to get out of bed?
Oh yeah, I do now, because at first I used to sleep on the sofa. You remember? First
Oh
few weeks.
yeah, I remember.
And but I eventually did the transition to my bed, and it's quite comfortable. Like, it's good. I can get up in the morning.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, after a while, you just get used to the kind of just moving around and being comfortable. So getting in bed is much easier. Mantis, what is the difference between getting a femur lengthening of 8 centimeters versus 4 centimeters lengthening on your femur, and then 4 centimeters lengthening on your tibia for balance, overall recovery in a long term? Oh, that's a good question.
It is a good question. Just want to say that, like, for a patient's perspective, to have 2 lengthenings in order to get the same height as 1 lengthening for me, wouldn't be really logical, because it's twice the pain, twice the procedure, twice everything for the same height. But whether if you do it like Randy, and you decide to do quadrilateral because you want to gain more than 8, then for me, I can see the necessity of doing it.
Yeah.
But for proportions, doing 4 and 4 instead of 8 on the femur, it's you're gonna put yourself through a lot for not much of a difference.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that in the real world, I think 1 lengthening maximum length is more ideal. But if it was a perfect world where you had unlimited money, unlimited time, unlimited, pain tolerance and all that good stuff, then doing it for ideal proportions would be best, obviously. And you could guarantee yourself a recovery. But anytime you break that tibia, the tibia is a different animal entirely than the femur. It really is. Mantis, does the bone fill after the rod has been extracted? Oh, good question. Yeah, so Dr. Paley does say in his interview, the recent one that we have on the channel, he does say that it does fill back in with bone marrow. So it does, yes.
It does, and that's where your blood cells are created, in the bone marrow.
Yep. Radhika Tay, how much does it cost? What country did you go to?
Okay, so for me, it was in Canada. I didn't need to necessarily go there because I'm a Canadian, and the surgery was 85,000.
Okay. Canadian dollars, right? Canadian. Alex Wong, if I'm able to work virtually, could I work during the consolidation phase? Oh, this is a good question, JP. So if you were like a remote worker, could you do work right now?
Yeah, you could.
You could?
If you were really I mean, inclined in doing it, you
Mhm.
could definitely do it after because I got asked this question by a prospective patient, and
Mhm.
I told them after about 3 weeks you can go 3-4 weeks after the surgery you could go back to work at home.
That's awesome. Yeah, I get asked that a lot, and I tell them the same thing. I say as long as your pain is tolerable. Radhika's back. How long will it take from your surgery to walk properly? How much does that cost? Okay, so and how much do you need to spend every other month for your PT, doctor's visits, and medication? Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, so the price I told you before is including everything, PT, not medication, but PT and doctor's visit,
Mm.
excluding medication, but also depends on how much medication you're taking.
Mhm.
And the how long will it take from the surgery to walk properly is about 6 months, 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. Gotcha. Okay. Yep. DJ Cyborg. Hey Vic, what did you think about Jack Harlow jeans? Oh, I forgot to check that out. Oh my gosh, I wrote that down and I took it home and I just fell asleep. Let me write that down. Thanks for reminding me. I will check that out. I'll get back to you.
What's that?
That's so basically they said there was a SNL Saturday Night Live skit with Jack Harlow talking about leg lengthening. He's like a famous hip hop artist, and
Okay.
they said that he was talking about limb lengthening on Saturday Night Live, which is like like it was a skit, a comedy. But I will have to check it out. So I'll just Google it, Jack Harlow limb lengthening, and see if I can find something on it. Yeah, Mantis. From the X-ray images, we see that the bone is most often heals unevenly. Can we feel that these unevenly healed bumps for our tibia when we touch it?
Like the callosity, the bone. I mean, the
Oh,
bone.
okay, gotcha. Like the contours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can until it remodels itself over time. Like it also depends on how much hypertrophy there was. Like mine still has a little bit of a contour sweep to it, so it's not perfectly like like where it was unbroken before. But you know what? It's a small price to pay for the effect that this procedure has on your discrepancy, your stature. So
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you'll feel it more in the tibias than in the femurs.
100%, because there's not much muscle. The tibia's to the surface. Yep. I don't think you could even feel you shouldn't be able to feel your femur bone if you're a guy. Get to the gym, do those squats, right? I'm glowing. Does your heart have to pump harder due to new length?
When I'm gonna start working out, it's gonna pump more because because I haven't worked out for a while. But after maybe a month or two that I'm working out, I'm gonna maybe see a difference. Maybe not. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
I haven't taken my blood pressure, so I don't know.
Yeah. JP, you think you're gonna be able to play sports again in the next upcoming months or year?
Yep, definitely.
Oh man, I love his confidence, and I agree with you. I mean, I just seen so many videos of patients sending stuff to me. They're doing really, really well.
Give me one sec. The thing just jumped.
Oh, it just jumped on you? Oh,
yeah.
That did it. That's what I said. It happened to me last week, Randy, when you were
No,
on
it
here.
happens. It happens all the time.
Oh, it does. I swear these people piss me off with this software. I'll have to talk to them. All right, we'll take what do you think, Randy? Like another 7 of them? Is there 7 more? How many more are there?
Not too many.
Not too many. Okay, maybe we'll crush
2 or 3. Yep.
Oh, okay, we'll be good. Starry Blue. Hey Vic, what about the spine torso thing? Is anything going on? Yeah, like I mean, there's discussions about that, but it's really about alternative limb lengthening, or alternative stature increasing methods. But we're doing real research. It's not just the hoopla stuff that you see about micro fractures and stretch your legs out with these weird bondage straps. No, none of that nonsense. We're talking real science, regenerative medicine. We're talking to real doctors. Like this is real stuff happening. So. Default generator. At what height do you think lengthening begins to give diminishing returns? 6 foot, 6'1", or 6'2"? That's a good one, JP.
I would say 6'2", because at 6'2", you're gonna have. I read something online. The guy said he was like, "Listen, I'm 6'2", and I wish I was 6 before, because at 6'2", you had a few issues. One was the clothing. He had trouble finding nice clothes. The other one was he always hit his head to some places, especially when sitting in a car. And the other issue he had, that I found was funny is he was saying every time I go out in a bar or in a club, I always get picked on by smaller dudes only because I'm the tallest. So for me, at 6'2" would be too much.
Yeah, I agree. I think like because there was one person who was 6'1" after lengthening, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I should do my." I think it was tibia. They did femurs. They were trying to do tibias, and they're like, "I want to get to 6'3". I was like, "It might not be necessary after that because you're gonna go to past 6'2". It's like that's crazy.
I told I was speaking with Dr. G last 2 weeks ago when I saw her. I was like, "Listen, can you unscrew the distal screws from my nail? Okay, retract the nail." And then put the screws again, and then we lengthen again.
Yeah.
Because they do that for dwarf. But she looked at me. She's like, "Aren't you 6 now? Like, aren't you 6 foot now?" Like, yeah, like So it's funny because one thing limb lengthening does to you is because as much as it's painful, I loved the period where I was lengthening. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to end.
Yeah, it's crazy. I kind of enjoyed it too. I actually thought back to it today when I was in the gym because I knew I had this coming today. It kind of popped in my head. I thought back to my own journey, and I was like, man, that was a really special time in my life. It's kind of like where you really did get this life slow down and really reflect on the world. But it was a very special time. It was almost a transformation period for me mentally. Coming out of limb lengthening, it's like I was just way more resilient to the world. I was tougher. I had this psychological cyborg body armor where nothing could, beat me down anymore. So. Ibrahim's asking, amazing achievement, well done. May I ask, knowing that 8 centimeters is tough, what are the expectations versus reality of reaching your goal? I know you slowed down, which is great. From Dr. G. Hi, Victor. Hey, what's up, Ibrahim? Okay, this is who I think it is. Okay.
Hey, thanks, Ibrahim. So the expectations versus reality depends on your individual tolerance of your body. Depends if you get more tightness. But most people, they can get the 8 if they want to get the 8.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's crazy. A lot of people get to 8, and the ones who don't, they just either have a lot of lengthening pain or they just decide that enough is enough. Can we find you on social media if we have more questions about the procedure to stay tall with the community and mental support? Not everyone understands this kind of mindset. Yeah, you're on. You got an Instagram, right?
Yep. It's JP1605_.
Cool. I'll make sure to post that under this video when we're done. I'll just pull it from his Instagram and post it below. And we may even draft JP for the new service if he's not too busy, right?
All right. Well, I mean,
we'll make sure you're very well taken care of, JP. Don't worry.
Right.
What did you mean bone healing uneven, etc.?
Because the other question, the guy asked a bone.
Yeah. So okay. So when they let me actually pull up one of JP's breaks so I can just explain this really quickly here. Just a second here. Let me just go to his X-ray. Find one of your X-rays here. Hold on. Now I can't find one of your X-rays. Hold on, I'll find one. There we go. Right there. Okay. Well, that's not a good one.
No.
Well, you have such clean breaks. It's just like kind of hard to see.
Okay, here.
That one? Yeah. So if you guys kind of see, well, he has a really well done job here, but like these are, what did she use the break? I don't know. Yeah. But in my break, my osteotome for you. Okay. So that's
drills holes to make it weaker, and then she osteotomes to break it, simulate the fracture.
Yeah. That's what most surgeons do. But in mine with the tibia break, she left more surface area there where like if you were to look, if you go to my website cyborgflife.com on the homepage, you can actually see there's like a lot of like jagged edges, which it actually kind of slants here and it slants the other way, almost like a puzzle piece that has to go perfectly back together. And why is that efficient? Because it has more surface area for the bone endings to sense and create osteogenesis or bone regenerate.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it also depends on their cut. So she used the perfect technique, the perforations with the screw holes and then the osteotome to break it. But some surgeons use oscillating saw, which gets really... Would you say?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, because I pressed play on the live video at the same time. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some surgeons will actually use a really hot oscillating saw, which will actually cut your bones and it'll get really hot and it'll actually kind of
Yeah,
get too hot for the
denaturate.
bone cells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll denaturate the cells, and that'll make it longer to grow.
Exactly. It'll take longer. It almost can turn into a delayed union just because of that surgical technique. And that's what we're talking about. So, but if you're talking about bone healing being uneven, over time, if you get really robust bone regenerate, or they call it hypertrophic bone healing in the gap, where like the regenerate's kind of like almost protruding outwards, then as it heals, it will heal like that. But over time, the bone remodels itself and streamlines itself back down to natural size. However, in my case, heavy deadlifter, squatter, lunger, all that crazy sprinting stuff, that mechanical stress will kind of keep that hypertrophic, that thicker bone regenerate there for reinforcement, because it's like, oh, we're not letting Victor break this bone again in the same exact spot. So it's the body's way of saying, hey, look, you know, we're going to reinforce this bone so it doesn't happen again here. But naturally, bone does heal without scar tissue. So it will heal with some sort of like curvature to some extent. But some people's bones who just get back to normal life, walkers, average Joes, desk jockeys, all those people, you can never tell. Like they just have like a simple straight bone. But me, heavy deadlifter, my bone is like, nope, we're going to make this nice and thick. So,
and that also goes to show you that like some people, maybe they're afraid, they're like, if I get my legs broken and metal rods put inside them, maybe they're going to be weaker after, you know, they're going to break more easily. No,
not at
it's
all.
going to be harder for you to break them.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be at the same or harder, especially depending on your physical activity after the fact. Yep. Absolutely. Does your perspective feel different around the house for hitting 6 foot?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like the stuff that's you know, my on the walls, my pictures on the walls and my stuff there, I feel like I saw a perspective change. Yep.
Okay, very cool. Awesome. Let's see what else we got here. Can you share your before stats, like wingspan, starting height, sitting height? So we did earlier. His wingspan was 68 inches, which is 173 centimeters. I wrote that down. His starting height, 174.5.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And sitting height, yeah, I don't think he measured that. Did you measure that? No. What is this?
No.
Like, who cares about sitting height? Like, unless you're like in a cubicle all day, or like you're sitting alongside coworkers, they're gonna judge your height.
Yeah, and it depends on the chair.
Yeah.
Randy, do you see the sitting height? What is that nonsense? I've seen that floating around for far too long. I think those are people who are obsessed with this. That also depends on the chair height, your torso length, all that good stuff. How would you describe your pain label from day one? Does the pain increase, stay the same? Okay, the pain medication all the time. Talk about pain medication, but we talked about his pain levels. They did decrease, but what did you do in terms of pain? When did you go off your pain meds?
I went off my pain meds quite quickly, about a month after surgery. I didn't take any pain meds anymore, just Tylenol.
Just Tylenol. Yeah, that's kind of what I did until I went off of that completely too. Cool. Then May, will you share before and after pics on Instagram?
Of course.
Cool. Yeah. So again, once I start the edits, I'll make sure to put his Instagram below. Go follow him. This man is a hero for the community. That would be huge. Yeah, I'm gonna put that back up here while we have it. Let me find that picture. Hold on. Where's Dr. G in here? I'll find it. Oh, what's the next question? Randy, you want to read it? I can't actually see it because it's this stuff in the
DJ Cyborg, I think sitting height will be affected by how much glutes you have, which is true.
That's true. So, yeah.
Your friend,
yeah.
Should you continue to do different types of exercises over the next few years to continue your good healing?
It's not going to be necessary. Like after lengthening, after the bone is fully healed and my range of motions of my muscles are fully, you know, recovered, I have strength back, I won't have to do it. But if I feel like a specific day my muscles are tighter, I can do it if I want to, but it won't be necessary.
Amen. Do you plan to do running, maybe even long distance running after your legs have fully recovered?
Yeah, maybe, because I used to before. I enjoyed it before, yeah. When I had more time, because with my studies, I hadn't had enough time to, you know, like run. But I was working out. But running, I'm gonna get back into it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Okay.
Do you have TikTok? Have you? Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Benjamin Mendoza, who's in class right now, probably. Luke Sellum, would you recommend Dr. Dong-Hoon Lee in Korea? That's funny. I actually, I'm going to be actually reaching out to Peter Thaler, who said Dong-Hoon Lee is attending a very big conference with him soon. So I'll find out what's going on with that guy. But Dong-Hoon Lee has been, super busy. I don't think he's going to be reached anytime soon. But anyway, guys, hey, look, JP, I want to thank you so much for coming on, giving this amazing update on you finishing your lengthening process. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, that's huge to be able to go from, pretty much 5'9" to over 6 foot now, in shoes and stuff like that. And I mean, the perspective you gave, every detail you give, being open about this procedure and having a positive, encouraging mindset for other prospective patients to follow in your footstep is huge. So I want to thank you for that. Give it up for JP. Stamps in the next day or so. So if you guys want to go follow him, if you want to shoot him messages, be considerate of his time and also be polite. But yeah, we're going to have you back, man. You're like literally going to be the Cyborg for Life patient avatar here. So keep coming back. You're welcome anytime. Randy, I want to thank you so much for helping out with the questions. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming on and watching us on episode 63 of Limb Lengthening Live. And until next time, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life signing out. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.